I'm Precious and you're welcome to my kitchen. In this episode of Precious Kitchen, I'll be showing you guys how to make Ekwang. Ekwang is a Cameroonian meal that is very unique. It is made out of grated cocoyams wrapped in green leaves, cooked with palm oil and lots of ethnic flavors. It is so delicious. I'll show you the ingredients we need and then we can start with the cooking. Right here we have leaves. So these are collard greens, but typically we use cocoyam leaves to make ekwang. But since I can't easily find cocoyam leaves here, I'm going with collard greens because I've used them before and they worked just fine. You could use spinach, you could use romaine lettuce. I mean, just any green leaf will work. So right here we have the cocoyams for the ekwang. This is a particular kind of cocoyam that we call makabo cocoa in Cameroon. In the grocery store here, it is labeled as taro pink or taro white. So I'm making use with the white ones today, but if you have both the pink and white, you can do a blend of that and that will go just fine. So right here is palm oil. Palm oil is what we traditionally use to make our dishes because it just brings out that ethnic flavor so well. Salt, of course, a little bit of white pepper. You could also use a little bit of black pepper. And then this is the fish I'll be using. I'm using smoked fish here. I made the smoked fish myself in my oven. You can check my blog preciouscore.com and search for how to make dried fish at home and you see how I made this. And then there's stockfish beneath and a little bit of smoked beef. You could basically use any kind of fish you want or beef, you know. I like having a blend because I want my ekwang to be special. So I have half a small onion here. This is not compulsory, but I like having a bit of the onion flavor in my ekwang. And this is what we call in Cameroon country onions. It's round, it's labeled as rondelles in the African store here, and this is about a teaspoon of the powder, the ground version. Right here, garlic and ginger paste. These are 2 tablespoons of that, and then right here about 2 cups of crayfish, and then of course we have our seasoning cubes Maggi. So let's get started with the cooking. The first thing I'm doing is peeling up my cocoyams. I'm just running my little knife to take off that skin. If you have a potato cleaner, you could use it to take off the skin. So my cocoyams are all peeled and I'm just starting to grate. You can see the side of the grater I'm using. And I'm going to grate all of these. I actually had a few pink ones in there. So if you have a food processor, you could use that, but I just like going the traditional way with the grater. So I'll show you what it looks like when it's all grated. Okay, so my cocoyam is all grated. Look at that. So what you want to do is you just want to mix together the cocoyam so everything is even. You can see I have streaks of pink and white in there, so I just want everything to marry together. And then when it's well mixed, put in a little bit of salt because it's going to be wrapped in leaves. You don't want it to be bland if you bite into it. So just a little bit of salt. And then I'm also loosening it up with a little bit of water, just a little bit of water, so it's not so hard on the inside. It's a little bit more. So that is perfect. Now the next thing I'll do is oil my cooking pan, just the way you oil a pan for cake. So I'm just dropping some of the palm oil there. That's about a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of palm oil. I'll just use my pastry brush. You could use your hand, and I'll brush this all over the pan so it doesn't stick when cooking. I'm just brushing this all over the pan. Okay, now it's time to start wrapping. So I'll show you guys how I do it. So I'm just cutting the leaf from around you see this, the middle part of the leaf is really hard, so we don't want that inside. So I get a good quantity that can make a small wrap. So I place it on one hand like this, then just go in with about a teaspoon of the grated cocoyam. Then I just fold it in, then fold it in, and then keep going until it makes a roll like that. And I place it in my oil pan. Then I do another one so you can see. So guys, I'm done wrapping my ekwang. I actually didn't use all of the leaves because the cocoyams didn't turn out as much as I'd expected, so it's better to have more leaves than few. So I have some water boiling here. I've set up the ekwang to medium high, so I'll pour in this boiling water. I like starting with some boiling water so it cooks immediately. That's about 2.5 cups of boiling water. Then the next thing will be that palm oil. So it takes quite a bit of palm oil, so that's about 1.5 cups of palm oil right there. Then all the onions. Remember, onion is not really compulsory, but I love onions in my ekwang. So there's just like a personal preference. And then the country onions called rondelles. This is also optional. Then garlic and ginger paste. All that crayfish. Some salt. That's about 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then seasoning cubes. I'm using like about 3 of them right here. And then all the meat and fish. Just a little bit of meat, and then we have all the stock fish and the smoked fish, homemade smoked fish. And then if you want, you can add in some habanero pepper, that's hot pepper, scotch bonnet, chili, habanero, whatever you have on hand. But I'm not adding any pepper to this because my kids are going to back off. Oh, sorry, my kids are going to back off if it's so hot and spicy, so I'll be leaving it pepperless. Is there a word like that? So I'll cover this to cook for about 30 minutes. I'll show you what it looks like. Alright guys, this has cooked for about 30 minutes and it looks amazing. Look at that. And I just want you to see how, you know, the wraps are intact. To me, that's how ekwang should be. It shouldn't be all mixed up and mushy. At least at the end of cooking, the wraps should still be visible, right? And then there's that nice creamy liquid. Oh my god, I'm already salivating. This looks so good. So only one more thing. Halfway through the cooking, I added about 2 cups of water so that the liquid will be just right. And then I tasted the seasoning is perfect, but I just need a little bit of white pepper, and you could just use black pepper for this, just to give it that boost in flavor. And I do not stir when I'm cooking ekwang. What I do is, if I really need to stir, I just use my wooden spoon to like move it a little bit. The pan I'm using is non-stick, so that really helps too, you know. If I had a smaller pan, I would hold it and shake it to mix up everything, but I've just used my wooden spoon just to move it gently so I don't scatter up everything. Look at that. Oh my goodness. So the white pepper is in. It just needs about 2 more minutes in there, and we'll go for the taste test.